All right, guys, welcome to the Go Accomplish More podcast. And today we have a really, really good one. Today, I'm going to talk about the 5 AI tools every agency team should be using daily. And look, I know there are thousands of AI tools out there, and it can be overwhelming. Every week, there seems to be a new one coming out. So today, I'm going to cut through the noise and give you the 5 tools that I believe every single agency team, whether it's you, your in-house staff, or virtual team, should be using every single day. These aren't fancy, they're not complicated, they're practical, they're proven, and I believe they will 10x your team's output. So let's get right into it. So the first one is ChatGPT. We're all familiar with ChatGPT. Especially when AI came out, we all jumped into ChatGPT. And to be honest, I still use ChatGPT. I still think it's very valuable. And I believe ChatGPT is like the Swiss Army knife, right? If your team is spending hours writing their first draft, researching, or maybe client replies that should take minutes or taking a long time, well, ChatGPT is the answer. Like, have you ever received those emails from clients that you get a long email, like super long email, and if you were to sit there and read the whole email and then think of a response, that can take you like 20 minutes to 30 minutes. But imagine now where you can copy and paste that email and throw it into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT can give you a response email with your tone of voice so that you can copy and paste it and send it to your client. That's so much time saved, right? So think of it that agencies are using it for briefs to draft in minutes, even prep talking points before every client call. So however you're using it, just make sure that you're using it like that Swiss Army knife, right? That's going to save you time. And what's the goal of this is that it's going to save you. It's going to give you more faster turnaround. It's going to also give you the capacity to take on more clients without adding headcount. So time saved per account adds up to 1 full extra client per month. So one tip I give you as well is that you can build a custom GPT for each client, right? Load their brand voice, goals, and past context once. So your team never starts from zero again. Client knowledge stays in the system even when a team member leaves. So that's amazing. So number 2 is my favorite, and I've been using it for a while, and it's Claude. And I see Claude as a strategic thinker, right? And Claude is comprised of 3, right? There's Claude, there's Claude Cowork, and then there's Claude Code. So I'm only going to talk a little bit about Claude and Claude Cowork. So one of the pain points that agencies have is that content sounds generic, and it's been sounding generic in a lot of ways. SOPs are outdated or missing. New virtual assistants take weeks to learn the brand voice. So whenever you onboard a new VA or a new team member, sometimes that can take weeks. So imagine if you were using Claude and you uploaded your brand Bible as a project file, like everything related to your brand as a project file. And then Claude kept it in context always. You can draft SOPs in minutes. You can write strategy docs that actually sound like your agency. And the way that we have been using it, like in our agency, is that we have created a sandbox folder. So we actually installed it in our computer. You can have it in the cloud as well. But the cool thing is that if you install it, you're going to save on the tokens. It's going to be less, right? When it comes to the tokens, because there's a lot of token usage. So when you download it in your computer, you can create a sandbox folder, which is your primary folder. And then within that folder, you can have subfolders. And those subfolders are projects. So the way that we designed it is that the subfolders or projects, we have one of them for recruitment. There's another one for account management. There's another one for human resources. So you can do it however you want in your agency, and you can create it, and you can put your own instructions within each of the folders. So it's going to know the brand voice. You can also add skills to it. So it's amazing. So a pro tip that I give you is that you can use Claude projects, and you can do 1 project per client with brand guidelines, tone of voice, and past deliverable uploads. So every team member gets instant context every single time. You're going to get strong SOPs and brand docs powered by Claude means that you're going to have new hires ramp up faster, right? If you're hiring new people, You're going to have quicker onboardings with your clients, and you're going to have lower turnover cost. And like I said earlier, less onboarding stress on you. So Claude is one of my favorites. Number 3 is Gemini. And I call Gemini the data cruncher, right? If reporting is taking too long, right? And happens a lot to all of us as well. Gemini is the way to go, right? Clients want insights, and your team can spend hours in spreadsheets instead of on the strategy. So imagine if you can upload a campaign report PDF or connect a sheet link, right? And Gemini pulls out the story in seconds. Generate client-ready summaries with trend callouts and recommendations. The other day, I was talking with my team, and we have everything on Google Docs and Google Sheets. And one of the things that I asked them was, hey, I want to know the numbers or the percentage on these cancellations, right? Have they happened less than 6 months? And literally, they asked Gemini right away, one of my team members, and they got the answer within 1 minute or less, right? They were able to tell me, hey, John, this is the percentage of clients canceling before 6 months. So this is really, really good. If you want data, Gemini is the way to go. And if you have your Gmail, you already have it. And the cool thing about Gemini is that it also generates photos. It does a lot of cool things. But I believe Gemini is the data cruncher. And what is the goal of this? Better revenue, I believe, because you're going to have better reporting. You're going to have stronger client retention. I mean, who doesn't want better retention, right? And clients who feel informed and seen don't leave. The number one reason clients leave is perceived indifference. So your account managers are going to have more of a pulse when using Gemini. Number 4, which is also one of my favorites, is Notebook LM. And I see Notebook LM as the knowledge base, right? This is where you have like a whole library of anything that you want to upload. And the way that I see it here is that if you've had new hires ask the same question over and over, knowledge lives in people's heads. Remember, when someone leaves, they take everything with them. So you want to make sure on how you can use Notebook LM is that you upload all your SOPs, all your client docs, and onboarding guides. You can upload them on Notebook LM. So team members can ask questions in plain English and get instant answers. No more digging through folders. Notebook LM lives in Google, right? So if you have a Gmail account, you're gonna have it, right? You can download all the videos of how you do your onboarding, and within Notebook LM, it will create all the SOPs. It will also create a video, like a summarized video, and also a podcast. How we're doing it is that we're gonna build all of our learning portal within Notebook LM. So we're building a lot of notebooks, and that's gonna be our ground knowledge base for our team to learn new things and also to standardize all the SOPs right in one place. What's a pro tip here is treat Notebook LM as your always on internal expert that is easy for your team members to look for. You build one notebook per client, or one notebook could be per department. And when you bring in a new VA or a new staff member, point them there first. And then they can self-serve 80% of their questions. So all the questions are going to be there. Another thing I did was, I think I mentioned to this in a previous podcast, is I have done most of the discovery calls, sales side of it. And literally I transcribed all my sales calls and added it into a notebook in Notebook LM. And I created a sales training with frequently asked questions, with everything. So it's an amazing tool if you're not using it. Last but not least is Manus. And Manus is cool. It's from Meta. And Manus is what I call the execution partner, right? You can connect it to even your Telegram, right? I did that recently, I think like a few months ago. And you can literally give it a command. You can give it the final outcome and it's going to deliver. It's like that AI agent that's going to be working on your command. So think of it of some of the pain points, right? That you're doing some deep dive work. You're doing competitive audits, strategy decks, proposal writings. So this is pulling your best people from what they should be doing. You want them to do deep work and to strategize, but that takes time, right? From their everyday work, right? Especially If you're talking to like an ops manager, you're talking to an account manager. So how agencies are using Manus is that they're giving Manus a complex multi-step task and let it run. Manus can also do competitor analysis, full proposals, strategy frameworks, and it handles the heavy lifting literally like on its own. The other day, I was going back home on a plane ride from LA from an event that I was there, marketing event. And the plane ride was about 5 hours. So literally the whole time, since I had Wi-Fi, I was talking with Manus, my AI agent. I was saying, hey, I need you to create a marketing strategy where I can have more engagement on my social media, where I can create a good follow-up system for my clients. And I gave it exactly the end result, right? I gave it a lot of context, right? I even said, go to my website to create, the marketing PDF with my brand colors, with my logo. And literally it did that. I mean, I gave it the final outcome. Manus, within 15 to 20 minutes, gave me the final outcome, literally. And that would have taken probably someone maybe 2 hours to do. So I was blown away. So a pro tip I give you is like every agency is different and you're going to have different final outcomes. But the goal here is that you need to give Manus the final outcome and then you got to reverse engineer it. And then you ask it, hey, ask me a few questions before starting on this project, right? Ask me a few questions that you need to know about me. And usually it's going to ask you 5 or 6 questions. And after that, it's going to work. And then when it's ready, it will let you know. You can command it through Telegram or you can also command it through your desktop. But it's pretty cool and it's really brilliant. So one pro tip I give you is that you can use Manus for tasks that normally like eat up a senior team's member's entire afternoon. Think of it as, adding a high output researcher to your team at 0 extra payroll costs. That's exactly what it is. It's like someone doing research that is really smart, right? That usually would take hours to do. What's the benefit of having Manus is that it's going to free up senior staff from researching and drafting. Definitely. And they can focus on strategy, client relationships, and upsells. The work that actually grows accounts. So you see how that's going to help your revenue grow. You're going to be the operator and you're controlling it to be your own research buddy, where it's going to give you the exact final output of what you're looking for. But you need to be clear on that final output. Before I let you go, I want to give you some action items. I know today I've spoken about these 5 and I want to repeat them one more time again. So the 5 tools that I recommend that every agency team should be using daily is number 1 is ChatGPT. Number 2 is Claude. Number 3, Gemini. Number 4, Notebook LM. And number 5, Manus. Pick one tool from this list that your team isn't using yet, of course. And this week, have everyone on your team try it for one specific real task. Just try it for one task. Then number 3, compare the output and time saved versus doing it the old way. And that's fun to do, right? If it saves you time, make it part of your standard workflow immediately. That's important, guys, because you can get shiny object syndrome whenever you're using these AI tools. I mean, the other day I was working out and I bumped into a friend and literally I couldn't finish my workout because we ended up talking about AI for like 30 minutes. We were distracted. And I believe that's the same analogy as whenever you're using any AI tools, don't let it be a distraction. Only use the AI tools that are really going to propel you and that are going to make you productive in what you're doing, right? That it's going to give you that 5x or that 10x return, right? So that you can have more output with less time or with the same amount of time. I want you to take action today. And remember, 5 tools, that's it. You don't need 50. Guys, that's all I have. Make sure to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me on Instagram, it's John Henao, or you can reach me on Facebook and DM me and tell me, hey, John, I loved your episode, because it's amazing whenever my audience reach out. But if you like the show, make sure you follow the show, leave a review, and let's go accomplish more. Thank you so much.